That is a golf swing you want to copy right there. Just beautiful. He'll be happy with that in the fairway, and now a good chance to attack this hole. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. He'll need to be strong with this. Beautiful shot. That is tight.
Unbelievable. That is one to savor for the rest of the round.
That's not how you picture it, Frank, when you step on that first tee.
No, you'd like to go back to that first tee right now and start again.
So that's a bogey, and now to 1 over par for the tournament. Already teed up here at the second.
A little bit downhill, Rich. Once again, check for that flag. The front flags are always difficult because chances are you're going to have a downhill putt. When that flag's on the left side of the green, though, beware of that bunker. That's a devilish bunker shot coming downhill away from the flag.
You can't hide the flagstick from that man.
He is just unbelievable. That never deviated offline.
Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
Well, not in contention, but in for par. We talked about the good mix of holes to start here at East Lake, so coming off that par 3 second hole, now to the very short par 4 third, just 390 yards. But really, with all of the bunkers and the trees and this green, it's a tricky proposition. And on the fairway here at the third. So going well up the hill to that green, will need to take an extra club here. He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right. And getting ready for the putt. Well, you're not going to make that putt all the time, but you'd like to at least get it to the hole.
If he keeps putting like that, he's going to be an announcer in no time.
+2 already. Action is underway, and we'll take you out to hole number 4. Frank, you know this. You can't win a tournament in the first round, but you can lose it. As we catch up with our featured golfer, they need to turn this around just to make the cut.
And turn it around now.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
On the green, and looking at a birdie opportunity. Just want to nestle this one down to within a couple of feet. Well, he knew it right from the start. Just a poor putt. Sitting right now at 2 over par for the round.
fourth hole looks like it's going to claim another victim.
Not a gimme, but well within his range. Those are painful from that distance.
Yeah, just another one added to the card. Big mistake.
Limitless. The ability to break free. To experience golf in ways you never thought possible. Taking your game to levels once only dreamed of. Welcome to the next generation of golf. This is EA Sports Rory McIlroy PGA Tour. Hello again, everyone. This is Rich Lerner here to walk you through some lessons on how to play EA Sports Rory McIlroy PGA Tour. We'll start with lessons that teach you how to set up different shots. Let's get started. EA Sports is proud to present today's PGA Tour coverage. Frank, one of the things we love about golf, it's an outdoor game, and we share these spectacular views with our friends from Mother Nature.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous out here. Years ago, I played an exhibition match from Calgary with Hale Irwin, which isn't that far away from where we are today. And just the vistas, the magnificent pines, the Douglas firs, the white spruce, the aspens, it's just all there in front of you. This is an idyllic day, too, to play golf.
Frank, that is position A.
Yeah, the tee shot was like silk, Rich. I mean, just sets up that second shot so beautifully.
Good swing, good shot yet again. That is a green in regulation as the approach shot hits the first green, but he is by no means in for par yet. A lengthy putt coming up. On the way. Go ahead and do that. What a putt. Already teed up here at the second. Frank, how about the par 3 second hole?
The first of 5 par 3s the players will play today, Rich. This one's surrounded by bunkers, but certainly one of the shorter par 3s. So with a good tee shot here, you can imagine you could easily get a putt inside 10 to 15 feet for birdie.
Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
That was not a very good read right there. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. 1 under early in the round. Frank, how about the first par 5 on the golf course here at the third? Just a shade under 530 yards. Good birdie opportunity?
It certainly is. There's 3 bunkers just down that left side. Avoid those, and this par 5, very reachable. There's something about a well-hit shot.
Nicely played shot, about 310 yards down the fairway. All right, Frank, what's the right play here on this second shot to the par 5 third?
Well, even though that hole is a dogleg to the right, the best way to bring it in actually is to use the general contours, which is right to left, and the shape of the shot in that direction as well. So it might look like a little cut, but it actually suits a little draw.
He's making the game look very simple right now. See it, hit it, and he's got it right on track. These putts keep the round together. Wow, I thought he made that. Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. So a tester from 4 feet. Has to like that one. Another birdie to get to 2 under par. Well, look at this hole, Frank. A par 3, 192 yards. It is beautiful.
It's called Devil's Cauldron, but with that lake, I think that should cool you down, not heat you up. Just keep an eye on that drop of elevation. For every 10 yards, you should reduce it by a club. So it's going to play some 50, 60 feet downhill.
Offline, and I think that one's headed for the rough. You have to think he'll be happy with that, given that it looked like it was headed right for the rough.
Yeah, it looked like that was the only place it was going to finish. But, well, it's a little bit unexplainable. Let's see what he does from here now. Lucky break.
You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. For par. With authority, count it as a par and 2 under. Back on the tee here at Banff Springs, 5th hole, 424-yard par 4. What's the setup here, Frank?
Well, it's very tempting to try and hit a draw because that's the way in which the hole is shaped. But the main goal is to make sure that you can take that second bunker, the one on the left side, out of play with that tee shot.
That is massive off the tee.
Meters, yards, I don't care how you measure that. That's got to be what? 300 meters, 325 yards, something like that.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
And with that, he'll go to 3 under. Frank, you played at the highest level all over the world. What was a comfortable yardage for you on holes like this?
I actually had a club, believe it or not, that just the grooves on it, it would go 105 yards. It was a lofted sand iron, whether it was out of the first cut or up or the fairway. So if I could hit it around 100 yards, I could almost hit that distance with my eyes closed. After that, 70 yards was the next one. So everybody has that little sort of sweet spot with the wedge.
So that means on a hole like this, you were looking for something off the tee in the 265 to 270 range, and that would put what club in your hand?
Just in those days, it was a 53-degree sand iron, yeah.
Birdie try up next. Frank, this would be a nice way to jumpstart the round.
Yeah, his momentum can quickly go in the right direction if he makes this.
Nicely holed. 4th birdie of the day. Well, Frank, how about this hole? 602 yards of par 5, although I guess I shouldn't be that surprised. 602 yards these days for a long hitter.
What do you say? It's a drive and a 7-iron?
That's a mid-range par 5.
Well, yeah, 2 woods, the longer hitters will definitely get at home there, especially in good conditions. But bunker down the left, avoid that, carry that, and then we can think about the second shot.
He just blasted that one down the fairway. Out there about 325 yards. Looking to keep it going here, Frank.
Yeah, another example of things just working as they should.
That is a beauty, a real beauty. Getting set now over the putt. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, you like this kind of design feature where you go from the longest hole in the course immediately to the shortest hole?
Certainly. Golf giveth and golf taketh away. This is just minimally uphill, just a couple of feet, but you can see from the overview the design of the green. And that flag's on the right, it's a little bit of a longer carry, so just be a little cognizant of that. You don't have to hit it directly at the flag.
So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot.
It's that sneaky distance.
Oh, I thought he had that.
Can't birdie them all, Rich.
He needs this for par. Well, you can see it there. Feels very good about what he's doing. That's a nice par putt. Stays at 6 under. So we'll round out the front side here at Banff Springs with a par 5 and reasonably short at only 501 yards.
So very reachable because of that yardage that you just referenced. Hole bends a little bit to the right. You can favor the left side with a tee shot. It's just going to make that angle on the second a little bit easier.
That ball's run out certainly over 300 yards, Frank. Call it about 310. Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Well done on the approach shot. Inside of 10 feet, he'll be very happy with that. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Now 8 under on the day. Setting up to start the back 9 here, and if it's anywhere near as good as the front 9, Frank Hill will be very happy with his score at the end of the day.
Yeah, the hardest thing right now is to just keep doing the same thing without focusing on the score.
This one has a chance to be close. Terrific golf shot. And now that for an easy birdie.
Second shot.
Beautifully done. Nice birdie. So off the long par 3/10, we are at the 11th hole, 417-yard par 4, Frank.
It looks like a straightaway par 4, Rich, but if anything, the hole actually bends to the left, and you really want to follow that natural contour of that. Just sort of draw it off those bunkers on the right, or just simply carry it over the ones on the left. But ideally, down the left side, it avoids that pine tree that's further down.
And now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. With that ball sitting up, you can bring it in high, you can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
Early part of this second nine, a good approach shot. Now, pretty good chance for birdie. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Wow, he got robbed, Frank.
No, it's like kissing your mother-in-law.
Did the job right there. Here at the 12th, par 4, 442 yards. Frank, what's ahead?
This one's called Big Bow. Hole's certainly a lot longer than the 10th hole, which is Little Bow. Doglegs to the player's right. A couple of bunkers down the left side. That first bunker on the left shouldn't be too much of a problem to carry. But once again, even though the hole bends to the right, you'd like to be down the opposite side of the fairway, which is the left.
Outstanding tee shot.
Yeah, ball's sitting up. You don't have to worry about the wind or anything there. You just take a full-blooded cut at the second shot from here.
Birdie try up next. And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Just a couple of feet.
Well into red figures at 9 under for the round.
Well, this is a good hole right here. Par 3, 225 yards, 13th. Frank, what do you think?
Well, it's called sulfur. I can't remember what element that is on a periodic table, but the hardest thing here is not to figure that out, but figure out what club you're going to use. Just a fraction downhill, just over 200 yards. It does narrow up when they start to tick the flag in the back, but there's a nice fat target there, sort of those first two-thirds of the green.
Frank, that's not one you're necessarily thinking about making.
No, just a good putt, though. There's no two ways about that. He's putting well.
Simple, solid, and he'll take it.
But one that you need to make.
Well, here we are at the 14th hole. It's par 4, 442 yards. You like this hole, Frank?
I do, but if you were spraying it off the tee here, then there's all sorts of problems. Bunkers left, trees right. This is a fairway you must hit.
Frank, that swing looks lively and strong.
Oh, that had to fly 300. It's close to 310.
Seems to like it.
Headed for the fat part of the green.
Well, that's how you play the game. Right there.
Always like to get the double figures under par. 10 under already.
And Frank, ahead on the green, you could have a really crazy putt if you're not careful.
This is probably the most undulating green on the golf course, so you do not want to be going in with too flat a second shot. Game's about rhythm. When you have good rhythm, it just looks effortless. To hit the ball 300 yards through the air, that
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
easy. Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
It's a pretty good shot. That ball settles in about 13 feet away.
You'd like to think unlucky for some, but birdie putt coming up.
Really has it going now. Consecutive birdies. Moving on to number 16 now. It's a par 4, 414 yards. And Frank, what are we looking at here?
It's another hole that'll favour a nice sort of high draw off the tee. It'll set up that second shot to a green that has got several different levels on it.
Those are good numbers right there. 320, 320 yards. Just crushed it in the fairway. See if you can get this one to drop here at the 16th for a birdie.
You know what's better than 2 birdies in a row?
What's that?
3. That's what he's going for.
That's a turkey in bowling, isn't it?
He's no turkey. Now a putt for par.
He has this attempt for par. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall.
Now to the 17th, 374 yards, and Frank, players might be licking their chops here.
They certainly would, Rich. Bunkers left and right, but they can be carried with an aggressive tee shot. It'll set up just a short iron into a green that pitches towards you. So maybe just a little bit underneath the flag with a second shot. And really a chance to have a fast finish. There's always advantage of hitting it further than most, Rich, and straighter than most. When you put the two together, it's just straight up a head start.
That's an outstanding shot right there, and it sets up a really good look at birdie.
Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business.
Frank, I thought that was in.
Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. And that's in for a par. Here we are at the 18th at Banff Springs, 578-yard par 5. Frank, would you like to finish a round with a par 5?
Certainly if I could birdie it, that's for sure. And there's a good chance here at 18 you can, but there's bunkers galore. They're all in play for various standards of play. But the reward is if you can pump one down the middle of the fairway there, and then you reduce this par 5 to simply a drive and an iron.
Well, that was a beautiful drive, Frank. Really good position to take advantage.
Sitting up beautifully in the fairway. I'm loving that balance.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
No problems there. Really good approach shot. And now, good look at birdie. Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par.
You like the sound of this. 11 under par for the round.
Frank, that was an impressive round out there today.
Couldn't agree more, Rich. We've seen some great shots out there, and I'm excited to see how the rest of this tournament plays out.
EA Sports is proud to present PGA Tour coverage. Located in Atlanta, Georgia, the East Lake Golf Club is the home course of the legendary golfer Bobby Jones. It is the oldest golf course in the city of Atlanta. This is Rich Lerner with Frank Nobilo for EA Sports, and we'll be calling all the action out on the course today.
That's fine.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball. And this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards. Well, he'll be disappointed with that, no doubt.
Yeah, swing didn't quite look right on that one.
Yes, he's holed it, Frank.
Unbelievable. From that distance.
Here at the par 3 second hole, it's just under 215 yards and really a good-looking hole. The water is not necessarily in play for the professionals. Bunker left and a bunker just short of the green. This is probably a 4, 5, or 6 iron for most of the professionals. The bigger hitters might be able to get there with a 7. That's how you play the game, right there. Stick it in close and then knock in the birdie. Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knocking in for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it's going to hurt the course.
Out of the short par 4 third here at East Lake Golf Club. Well, this one's sweet, Frank.
Super. Oh, that's got to be 300 yards, isn't it?
So going well up the hill to that green, will need to take an extra club here. Well, this one should be safely on deck here.
Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot. Locked in on the read and the speed.
Just slides by.
Yeah, can't afford to miss too many of those out here today.
Just a little tap in here. Did the job right there. Now to the par 4 fourth. At first glance, you see 440 yards. Some of us might say that's a long par 4, but in today's professional game, that is not long by any stretch, the way they are bombing it down there with that driver. Now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. With that ball sitting up, you can bring it in high, you can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
Steady all day long. That one about 20 feet away. He'll settle.
Birdie chance here. Very long putt, though.
Got to be a little careful if it gets away on him.
Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Jordan Spieth can really roll it. Has good feel. Let's see what he does with this putt.
Solid par to remain 1 under. Back on the tee here at East Lake. 5th hole. 520-yard par 4. Outstanding tee shot.
Yeah, ball sitting up. You don't have to worry about the wind or anything there. You just take a full-blooded cut at the second shot from here.
Stuck the follow-through right there. This could be really good. Good, clean contact and a nice result. And a chance for birdie coming up. Jordan Spieth eyeing this putt for birdie.
Just a fraction too aggressive. Remember, line and speed go together.
Sometimes you want that birdie so badly, and all of a sudden you're faced with a lot of work, more work than you had hoped for, just to make the par.
The sixth green here at East Lake Golf Club, tracing back to the original Tom Bendelow design that opened back in 1908, built as the green for the par 5 16th, a Donald Ross rerouting 5 years later made it the target for a par 3 on the front nine. Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Not terrible, but not his best.
Outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
Always two components to the long lag putt, the speed, number one, and then the read. And missed out on that second part. That's how you maintain momentum. You make those putts for par. Well, Frank, we've made it through the sixth unscathed. And here we are at the seventh hole, and a little movement to this par 4 goes to the left.
Exactly. The first hole that actually shapes that way at East Lake. There's one bunker down the left side, that short bunker not in play. You would think you'd want to draw it off this tee, but really the best access to this undulating green is down the right side.
Frank, it makes the game easy when you play it from the fairway.
Especially when you play it from a lie like that.
And it generates some momentum here at the seventh hole. This for birdie. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read.
You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. He has this for par. That's 1 under on the day. Hole number 8, now another dogleg left set up here, 405 yards, par 4. Beautiful looking shot right here. Frank, that swing looks lively and strong.
Oh, that had to fly 300. It's close to 310.
Oh, looked like he caught a flyer right there, Frank.
Well, I don't know what he caught, but this is way too much.
Just averted danger right there. So close.
Why does he have all the luck?
How did that stay out, Frank?
Did everything but go in.
Makeable putt right here, currently sitting at 1 under for the round. Steady, solid, and at 1 under par right now. Rounding out the front nine here at East Lake, and interesting, this is our first par 5 of the day. Just 2 par 5s on the course, and the first is here at the 9th, set up at an even 600 yards. That's a good spot right there.
Center cut.
Over the years, this golf course has hosted so many national and regional championships, including the 1950 U.S. Women's Amateur, the 1963 Ryder Cup, and 2001 U.S. Men's Amateur Championship. It is now the permanent home of the Tour Championship by Coca-Cola, the culminating event of the PGA Tour playoffs for the FedEx Cup. That should be pretty good right there, on the safe side. That was just a gutsy shot right there, and a good look at Eagle coming up. Over the putt, this is Jordan Spieth.
Well, we'll never know if that had gone in, because it never made it.
Birdie chance now for Jordan Spieth.
Collects another birdie with that stroke and goes to 2 under. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Novelo for EA Sports. We are back on a beautiful day here at East Lake Golf Club in Atlanta. Set to kick off all the action on the back nine. The 10th is 469 yards.
Par 5 for the members, Rich, par 4 for the pros. There is a lake down there, but it's only for Top of Ted, not these great players in the field. 9 bunkers, last time I counted them here on 10. And I'd like to think they're not all in play. I've got to mention one thing, though. There's an out-of-bounds left of those bunkers on the left. And believe me, I've seen a few go over the fence.
I've played some golf with Topper Ted, also with Hacker Harry. Good players. Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing. Yeah, it was a little over-ambitious.
Frank, this is where the mental game really comes into play. You've hit a second consecutive shot into the rough.
This could compound very, very quickly, so now's a chance to just take a little breath, take a breather, and try to make sure this shot certainly gets out.
Well, double par here, time to pick up and move on. This is a good-sized par 3, 210 yards. Early part of this second nine, a good approach shot. Now, pretty good chance for birdie.
It's no snack, though. Just when you think you're going to make birdie, now have to really concentrate on this and at least make par.
Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, you couldn't hit that much better.
So, with that, 3 over par now for the round. Here at the downhill 12th now. Well, this looks good.
Certainly is.
Frank, over the course of the last 15 years or so, there have been a number of initiatives within the game of golf just to try to grow the sport.
Yeah, we've seen the PGA Junior League, which is a series of competitions, obviously for juniors to play. But the first tee really is worldwide now, just to try and introduce players from all over the world into the game of golf. They're introduced with club professionals. They learn skills that are essential really to play the game of golf. But in 2014 was a real step, what I think, in the right direction to showcase the junior talent around the world with the drive, chip and putt, where you actually get a chance to play the drive, chip and putt final at Augusta National, the home of the Masters.
Imagine young kids, boys and girls, 8 years old, 11 years old, being able to go home and tell their friends, tell their families, hey, I have something in common with Jack Nicklaus, with Arnold Palmer, with Phil Mickelson, with Tiger Woods. I won at Augusta National Golf Club. He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball. And this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards. This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
Birdie try up next. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Frank, that's not one you're necessarily thinking about making.
No, just a good putt, though. There's no two ways about that. He's putting well.
Right off the edge.
Just a fraction softer, then it might have just turned in.
Just a little sloppy right now. No other way to say it. Another bogey and 4 over for the day. Well, this one's sweet, Frank.
Super.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Jordan Spieth ready for his second shot. And it makes the green in regulation. And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
All right, hanging in. That's a par and 4 over. There are 3 tall pines on the right side of the fairway that force players to hit a fade to get to the best position in the fairway. With a good drive, players can definitely reach this short par 5 in 2. A well-bunkered green poses problems if missed long or short. One of the easiest holes at East Lake, a par here, will drop a shot to the field.
Oh, that's got to be 300 yards, isn't it? Second shot. This is definitely not going down the fairway.
It doesn't look good. I think it's going to be in the deep rough. Just a bit offline and into the bunker. In the greenside bunker here, Frank. Nice to go to the beach, but not too often, we hope. Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. Spieth settles in over his birdie putt. So close. Just a tap in from there. Just a tap in to finish the hole. Did the job right there. This picturesque hole providing a commanding view of the Atlanta skyline and East Lake Golf Club. The fairway narrows to 25 yards in width, 278 yards from the tee, making driving accuracy a premium on this long par 4. From here, a mid to long iron is needed to reach the green. 2 large bunkers await errant approaches into a large receptive green that slopes yet again from back to front. So, Frank, downhill shot, what's the right way to play it?
Well, normally downhill, you're also reducing the amount of lofts. So you got 2 choices: either hit a little bit easier or actually take a little bit more loft.
So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point.
They'll take it. That's now the 17th hole here at East Lake, 455 yards, made famous a few years back by Bill Haas, who splashed one out of the water left of the green on his way to winning the FedEx Cup Championship. Good contact, good result. Coming down the home stretch here at the 17th, set up well for a chance to go after this flagstick. Chance to set himself up for a good scoring opportunity with his second shot here. Good looking shot right here. That is an excellent play right there. The approach giving him another good look. These putts keep the round together. That's a step in the right direction. Makes the putt and makes the move to 3 over. On to the finishing hole here at East Lake Golf Club. Not many courses end with a par 3. It's always a fun finishing hole. Frank, this one's going too far left, it looks like.
Yeah, it was fine there for a little while, but if it keeps going left, it's doomed.
Frank, better than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that looked like it was headed for that thick stuff the whole way, but a little fortunate. But then I guess you're allowed that in this game.
That's a round of 72 for the day. What a thrilling afternoon of golf here at East Lake Golf Club in Atlanta, Georgia. For all of us here at EA Sports, I'm Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo saying so long until next time. This is EA Sports, PGA Tour coverage coming up next. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside my friend and colleague Frank Novelo calling all the action for EA Sports. We're at Quail Hollow in Charlotte, North Carolina. And Frank, what makes this such a good test?
It's got a great flow to it, Rich. Holes that bend in both directions, changes of elevation, a phenomenal finish that's named the Green Mile, which is 16, 17, and 18, some reachable par fives. Players have gone low here as well. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's plenty of opportunities. It's just a great blend, Rich.
Frank, I think that's going in the bunker.
Looks like it.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
I'll tell you what, Phil the Thrill, Phil Mickelson could not have done it any better. What a bunker shot. And so just getting started, even par so far. Teeing it up here at the second hole, Frank, it's a short par 3.
Yeah, it plays a little bit downhill, about half a club, Rich. There's a sort of shallow bunker in that back area, and also that green starts to reduce in size on the left side. Good par 3.
Frank, which way is this headed?
Well, judging by his body English, looks like it's heading a little right. There is a bit of green out there, though.
He's making the game look very simple right now. See it, hit it, and he's got it right on track. Good putt, and now 1 under par. This is a strong par 4, 452 yards. The third hole, it's a good challenge, Frank.
It is. Big sweeping dogleg left. Actually in a straight line, it's 315, 320 yards to run out. So if you hit the ball further than that, it's going to have to draw. Otherwise, you'll be hitting the rough on the other side. Still a lengthy shot under there on a green that actually has 3 different levels.
Wow, that is a monster drive down there, about 315 yards. Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. On the green in regulation. Frank, this would be a nice way to jumpstart the round.
Yeah, his momentum can quickly go in the right direction if he makes this.
Missed on that one, Frank.
Yeah, not a problem.
Nudge this one home, finish it up. Good stroke right there. That's a par, and stays at 1 under. Now to the fourth hole here at Quail Hollow, just under 490 yards.
Yeah, they used to have the tee on the right side, which actually made that tee shot very uncomfortable. When they put the new tee box in on the left side, it's a little easier to hit that fairway because that fairway slopes from right to left. Oh, that's fine.
Always makes the hole easier, playing it from the fairway. Frank, there's really great history here at Quail Hollow.
Yeah, it's a private members club, Rich. It was founded by James Harris back prior to 1960. We know it hosted the Kemper Open from 69 through to 79, the Payne Weber Invitational from 83 to 89. And now, obviously, it's the host of the Wells Fargo Championship ever since it debuted back in 2003.
Locked in on the read and the speed.
Has to like that one. Another birdie to get to 2 under par. Frank, in today's modern game where players are hitting it so far, I always feel like one of the more exciting holes is a reachable par 5, and here we are at the 5th, 570 yards.
Yeah, this is reachable providing you hit a good drive. Otherwise, it becomes very awkward on the layup. Sort of often threading the ball out of trees and just trying to find some sort of third shot. So to your point, big advantage with a good tee shot here.
Outstanding tee shot.
Yeah, ball sitting up. You don't have to worry about the wind or anything there. You just take a full-blooded cut at the second shot from here.
That one is bunker bound, it looks like. Well, we've seen this before today, in the bunker. Frank, there's nothing like catching a bunker shot just perfectly. Splashes out, lands softly, and runs up to that hole.
Yeah, it's like 3D. There's the component in the strike where it's going to land, and then the third part of it is how much will it roll.
Really rolling at this point. 3 birdies for the round. Frank, this is where you know that players like Bubba Watson, Dustin Johnson, Rory McIlroy are playing a different game than guys like me. They step up to this 250-yard par 3 and they might hit. And it is a little downhill, but they might be with a middle iron.
Because of the length they got to hit it, but the green they're heading into, this green slopes off in both directions, right and left, so you have to land that ball in the middle of the green. So yeah, it's a big advantage if you can go at this hole with like a 5-iron.
Very nicely done, right on the dance floor.
Over the putt, this is Jordan Spieth.
Three under on the day. Frank, there's a lot to chew on here as you get to the tee at the 532-yard par 5-7.
In today's game, 530 plus change you think is incredibly short. And look at the trouble in front of you. Water all the way down the right side and around that right side of the green. Bunkers left. This is not for the faint of heart.
Frank, this is a way to make golf easy when you can hit it that deep.
Oh, I'm going to say, I know that first number's a 3. I'm guessing the second one's a 2. Let's call it 320.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here.
It was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back?
That is professional with a capital P right there.
That's stealing.
Frank, in modern professional golf, we're seeing more and more drivable par 4s, like the 8 here at Quail Hollow, 350 yards. What do you think of this hole?
It's not a bad hole. Drivable, some might say, but the angle of the green means it's hard for that tee shot to keep on the green. But I think the reward for hitting a driver is try and sort of aim at that tree just left of the green. And the reason why is then you've got to pitch up the direction of the green. This is a really narrow green.
Looking to keep it going here, Frank.
Yeah, another example of things just working as they should.
Chance for birdie after the beautiful shot.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Good work right there, now to 6 under. Well, Frank, what do you think of the 9th hole here at Quail Hollow?
Oh, I think it's a beauty, Rich. One of those long, nice drawing tee shots. 500 yards is a par 4. You have to hit a good drive down there. The fairway doesn't camber that much. The hole does dogleg to the left. Big advantage for a big tee shot here.
They'll be happy with that. In the fairway, and now a good chance to attack this hole. This is the second shot at the par 4. Spieth has this for par. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
Well, this one's sweet, Frank.
Super.
Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
Frank, what's so compelling about rivalries in sports is that athletes need each other if they're going to go to great heights. Joe Frazier needed Muhammad Ali to solidify his legend. Jack Nicklaus probably needed Arnold Palmer to go to a place that he had not been. And I think that's true across the board as we look at rivalries in sports.
I think it defines careers, Rich. It's not until those players retire that they realized how important it was to have that foe. You know, so often we were living in the present like we are now with Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy. And it's not for years to come that we'll realize the sport wouldn't have been the same with one without the other.
Always two components to the long lag putt, the speed, number one, and then the read. And missed out on that second part. Rolling
rock, Frank.
Oh, and yet another birdie, Rich. Beautiful stroke.
Now to the par 4 11. Frank, what do you think of this hole?
It's an interesting hole, Rich, and I'm curious to see how aggressive players will play here today. The easy way, obviously, is just hit it down the right side and set up a nice second shot with a short iron. Or the most fun way is to take the big stick out and try and bite off as much of that corner as you choose. But be prepared to pay the price should it not come off.
So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Did the job right there. Frank, I think the mark of a good golf course design, changing directions. We go from a right to left hole, now at the 12th, to a left to right hole.
Yeah, there's no two holes at Quail Hollow that look the same. And this one's slightly downhill. The fairway tilts a little bit to the right. And it's a bit of a sleeper. And plus you add in on top of that 450 yards plus. This is a fairway that has to be hit.
Jordan Spieth ready for his second shot. That should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Frank had hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
You wonder what he's thinking on that.
That's how the best in the world play it, Frank.
Well, I tell you, a little lucky that it went in, but it was always going to be close.
Here we are at the par 3, 13th hole. It's 210 yards. What does it take here, Frank?
It's one, actually, where you'd rather be conservative than aggressive here. And the reason why is this green tends to roll off at the back and the front and the middle there. So it's just something that pitches more in the central part of the green is really what's required. Second shot. Oh, that was solid, Rich. This one's safely on.
Not a gimme, but well within his range. That is a solid par putt right there. Well, now we come to the really interesting 345-yard par 4 14th. Frank, I'm thinking that if you're leading, you're probably not going to try to drive this and take on the risk with the water on the left. But if you're behind, you have a chance to make up some ground.
Yeah, I have it written in my yardage book, Rich, on this hole. Only good and bad things happen with the driver. Nothing in between.
Second shot. Good look at the green. And it makes the green in regulation. So they'll tap in. You may have lost track at home, but we're keeping count. And that is 9 under for the day. Now as we arrive at the par 5 15th hole here at Quail Hollow, 577 yards. Frank, I think a player has to be thinking about doing what Rory McIlroy did in 2010.
It's the last of the holes that you can really be aggressive on, Rich. So a good drive down here. I'm well aware of the fact that there's water on the left. This is a good chance to make something happen before you play the green mile.
And that's what McIlroy did. Hit a tracer, then a 5-iron, knocked it in for eagle, shot 62, and won for the first time on the PGA Tour. So young and so accomplished already. Jordan Spieth, ready with his approach. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Stacking them and racking them. This is the start of what some say is the toughest finishing stretch on the PGA Tour. It's known as the Green Mile. Frank, what makes it so challenging?
Well, this hole in particular, Rich, the dogleg right, it means it plays every inch of it's just over 500 yards. That bunker you can see down the right, 325 yards to carry that. If you can fly the ball that far, at least you can chew off 2/3 of this hole, and that is well required here. Otherwise, it's a long, long second shot.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. So a longer putt coming up next, about 30 feet away. Just want to nestle this one down to within a couple of feet. Speed wasn't bad on that long putt, but the read wasn't very good. 10 under par on the day. Just 2 holes remaining here at Quail Hollow in Charlotte, North Carolina. This is the signature par 3, 221 yards, the 17th.
And they have a multitude of tees here. One of the new back tees is actually where the old 16th green was. And if you think don't go left is the way to play, then that won't work either, because right's not that much good. This is it. Stand on the tee, and you better hit a good shot.
Birdie chance here. Very long putt, though.
Got to be a little careful if it gets away on him.
Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
In for par. Now to the finishing hole here at Quail Hollow. Frank, what can we expect?
If there was a name for this hole, Rich, it should be called Narrows. The creek that meanders its way down the left side and actually divides that hole into really half the size of what a normal par 4 should be. That makes it hard. The bunker on the right is your bailout area, just over 290 yards to get past that, and then the narrowest green that still sits up against the lake. This is just a brutal finish.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. This for Jordan Spieth's birdie. The great hits just keep coming. Moves to -11 on the day. Frank, solid effort today. What's your assessment?
Golf like that can certainly result in wins, that's for sure. But more importantly, the opportunity to get one.
Today's coverage brought to you by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Hello again and welcome, Rich Lerner, alongside my friend and colleague Frank Nobilo. Frank, we've arrived at one of the more unusual golf courses in the United States. We're in the state of Washington, Chambers Bay. What's it all about?
Well, apart from the scenery, Rich, which is magnificent, this is a walking golf course, so it's a chance to get out there, strut your stuff, and see if you've got a game to match.
It's a links golf course. We think of links golf, we think of the home of golf in Scotland. Here we're in the northwest part of the United States, though.
Yeah, but Scotland's, well, it's transferred a little piece of land all the way across the Atlantic.
Down, little Sheba, down! That one is really long, Frank. He miscalculated there.
Well, there has to be something. I mean, from where he was, it's just an aberration. Seriously, that little green patch down the end there with a flag in it, that's where you're meant to go. Not like sailing over yonder.
And he's made the green, locked in on the read and the speed.
Frank, that's disappointing. You like to get out of the gates with a par.
Yeah, this is where a convenient memory would certainly help.
2-1 over par early on in this round. Now at the second and a medium-length par 4, Frank.
Yeah, a slight dogleg to the left, rather long, skinny green here, well bunkered all the way down the left side. Really anything down the right and the natural contours of the land should kick that ball a little to the left. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
Not too bad, about 25 feet away. One thing Spieth has shown early in his career, he is rock solid on the par putts. You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Slipping just a bit, another bogey, and now 2 over par. At the third tee now, Frank, and what are we staring at here?
This green is anything other than symmetrical, so be very, very cautious on where the flag is. Anything in the middle of the green you can putt to the corners, well, if you can call them corners, more like ragtails, but beautiful par 3.
Frank, this ball's in the rough. Anything you change in your technique when a ball's sitting down a little bit?
Yeah, you put the ball back a little bit further in your stance because you're going to get a bit of grass between the ball and the club face. So you have to allow for that and keep that club moving. That grass is going to be that grass is going to create a certain amount of resistance.
So with that, 3 over par now for the round. Frank, here on the fourth tee, you get a good look, don't you, at what Chambers Bay really is all about.
It's framed beautifully, Rich, by the bunkers there, left but short off the tee, plus the ones down the right side. You can see everything in front of you, but the hole does bend to the right. This is another one where you've got a generous fairway, but don't be fooled by that. It's fairway first.
Tough par 4 measuring 495 yards. Second from an excellent lie. Headed for the bunker? Getting some sand in the shoes now. For a second straight hole, he's in the bunker. Digs into the bunker, getting set to play the third shot. Well, too bad. He'll have to play from the bunker. Mishit, wrong club. What happened there, Frank?
All of the above, maybe. It's a little bit of a head scratcher. Wasn't that hard a shot. Not a problem there, Rich.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus.